just cleaning the brush off down there. Okay, so now I think we'll do, we just put a couple of clouds in, alright? We don't want too many, but we just put a couple of clouds in. We don't want it to overpower the picture. So I'm going to get my little fan brush. I'm going to go into some white. Pick up a little bit of white. I'm going to pull the brush one way and the other way. Quite loaded. The brush is quite loaded. And I'm just going to use the tip on this. I'm just going to do little circles in the gaps where it's lightest area. So I'm just going to put a few in here. So I'm just going to swivel around and keep moving the brush off and let the paint scrub into the colour. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Then I turn the brush over to the other side, and I may do a few up here. And I don't want too much. Another bit over here. And as the more you do this, the more the paint will blend in with the blue, and it will tone down a bit, which is what we want. We want it to tone down. I don't want it to be too overpowering. I just thought I'd add this on just to show you how to just easily do some clouds, and we'll just literally do little tiny circles. Okay, little circles. Okay. I'm gonna clean my 1-inch brush. I've got a little pot of thinners, odorless thinners, with little metal gauze on the top there to wipe this across. So I'm literally just going to go into the thinners and wipe it across the top of this metal gauze. Give it a little tap, just to get most of the paint off. Tap it at the side of the bucket, because you don't want to have too much thinners in your brush, because you can completely destroy your picture by having too much thinners. Get some more kitchen roll. I squeeze my kitchen roll and get my brush, and I'm really going to force it into this kitchen roll to remove excess thinners. As I said, if you leave too much thinners on here, you could end up in serious trouble, because it's just going to go like mud pie. All the paint's just going to run and fall down the canvas. I'm just squeezing it away to get rid of most of this. Okay, now I'm going to come up to my clouds, and I'm going to use the bottom part of the brush and do little C's, or just literally just tap very lightly, leaving the tops but just tapping the bottoms. So I'll start with these ones here, and literally I'm just really lightly, I'm just tapping, doing little C's. I'm just leaving the top edge. Again, I don't want these clouds to show too much. Just there, little fluffy clouds. Just keep going around. Now, you notice that I'm not paying a lot of attention to this, I'm just doing it. A lot of my students, they struggle because they worry too much, and they always say, Mark, you know, what does a cloud look like? What does a cloud look like? Well, if you look into the sky, clouds are all different shapes and sizes, so there is no real, you know, way to do them. Just as long as they sort of look fluffy and they look right to you, that's all that matters. If the picture looks right to you, it's right. It doesn't matter what anyone else tells you. You're doing the picture and you're really having a go yourself, and that's all that matters, is the fact that you're having a go at this yourself. And that's what I try to do. I just try to encourage you to really have a go yourself, because you can do this. Trust me, you can. So we've done that, and then I'm gonna again wipe my brush into a bit of tissue paper, and then I'm literally just lightly. When I say 2 hairs and some hairs, as you've seen Bob say this before, when I'm running across this, it looks like I'm actually running across the paint, and I'm not. Just these few bristles are going to touch it, so I hold the handle close to the canvas, very lightly press, very lightly, just to diffuse it and just push it back into the picture. If you push too hard, you smear it across, but it doesn't matter, you can just go over it again. It's no problem at all. And hopefully if you are enjoying my YouTube videos, if if you just like, subscribe and comment below if there's anything you want to know or anything related to this picture. That'd be great. I really appreciate it, and it does help my channel, and which means I can create some more of these lovely things for you. So that's the clouds done, and next thing we're going to move on to is we're going to put some nice trees in here. Okay, so for that I'm going to mix up a nice dark colour, and what I'm going to do, we're going to mix up, we've got this blue that we used up here, so I'm going to put all that to one side. I'm going to add some sap green into it, mix it around, add some black, a little bit more blue, and a little bit of red, alizarin crimson, all in there, a whole lot in there. So I'm going to get a nice dark greeny colour, greeny bluey colour. So I'm just going to wiggle this around, squash it down, put some more sap green in there, a bit more greeny on the greeny side. And you can do this, you really can. It's not this difficult, this picture. It's quite a nice easy one. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up my 2-inch brush. It has got a little bit of dusting of where we done some blending. I'm going to go into this, I'm going to pull it down one way, I'm going to put it down the other way, and I'm going to tap. So hopefully you can see, I'm going to tap this side and tap that side. So the brush is fully loaded. Tap, tap, fully loaded. I'm going to go up to canvas and I'm going to think about, right, where I'm going to put these trees. So I'm going to put these trees up here, and literally all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the brush and press upwards, like so, like this. And as I press up, I'm going to turn them around and come down a bit lower, like so. So coming out from the side, like so. One there. Then I'm going to do one next to it and load the brush again. Come here, do up, to the side, like so, just tap it upwards, down to the side, down, load the brush again, just put it in one way, hopefully you can see that, there we are, put it one way, give it a tap, tap, go here, might tap that one a bit a little higher, so a straight line, and then I tap up next to it, up next to it, as I come down, a little bit lower, and out to the side, and out to the side. Okay, so we've got different ones going on, slightly different shapes, but they're all sort of pointing upwards like so. Load the brush again, tap one side, other side. Another one here. Okay, this is just, we're putting on dark, that's all we're doing. I'm going to put a little one in there as well. We're just literally putting on dark because you need dark to show light. We're going to highlight these later on. So another one here, let's put this one a little bit higher. And here. I'm not going to go over his head, I'm going to leave the head there, but I might do a little bit just above his head, like so, so I can see what's going on. And then I'm going to pull this down, tap one side, tap the other side, hopefully you can see that. Do a big one here. Just tap up. Now holding the brush straight, just straight like this. Do another one here. Okay, so just sort of random shapes, that's all I'm looking for really, just to change the shapes. This one's a different shape, this one comes out a bit wider like that. But a lot of them, they just sort of go up, and there's the middle pieces, like so. Okay, it's not hard, it's not difficult for you guys, you can really do this. Okay, right, so what we're going to do now is get a bit of tissue. I'm just literally going to wipe the brush in the tissue just to get rid of some of that colour. Then I'm going to hold the brush at the bottom of the handle is I'm going to touch, and I'm going to bend the bristles and just pull down, touch, pull down, touch, pull down, touch, pull down, literally, touch, pull down, which creates a lovely reflection in the water. Then I'm going to turn the brush on the other side and very lightly, I'm just going to brush across, like so. Bring it down very lightly. When I'm pressing very lightly. Okay, now, if yours doesn't show up enough, or if it's not dark enough to show the reflection, you could just literally go into a little bit of colour, just a little bit of colour, and then where you would like it to come down more, say here, you just touch and pull down a bit more, so that's a little bit darker there, just to vary things up a little bit if you need to do that. Alright, I've just done it for your benefit, just to make it darker in that spot there, just that little spot there. But again, wipe the brush, get some tissue paper again, wiggle it around, get the excess off, because if you don't do that, you'll pull it straight down, you put too much paint on there. So again, just pull down very lightly, like so, and then turn the brush on the other side and go straight across, okay? Don't go down at an angle, just put it straight across, very lightly, press very lightly. It just diffuses this, and you've instantly got water reflections, which I find is amazing. It's so easy to do. You're reflecting basically what's above there. Nice and easy thing to do. Now, we're just going to put a few little branches in there. So I'm going to use the sienna, okay? So I'm going to get a little bit of sienna, pour a little bit of sienna down. And I'm going to get a little tiny bit of, just a little bit of black, just to dull it down a little bit. So a little bit of black into there, sienna, and a bit of black. Okay, spread the knife out, cut a little tiny roll on the knife, go to the canvas, and I'm just going to, through some of these middle ones, I'm just going to touch and let the canvas take some of this colour off me, okay? So literally I'm just touching this. Now don't do them all straight up, do some at slight angles, okay? So literally I'm just doing lines, a few lines, going up, in the middle here, load up. Hopefully it comes out in the video. Again, I don't want it to stand out too much, so just a few of these lines coming up here. So it looks like foliage. And in between some of these trees, I'm just going to do a few of these uprights as well. And literally, I'm just tapping the canvas. And the canvas is taking off what it wants to from my knife. Okay, so just a few of these going up. So you're literally just touching the canvas. Okay. Also, what I like to do is I wipe the knife. I use the point, the very tip of the knife, and a few places I'll just scratch down a few lines here and there. Just a few, just little lines coming down. And again, this adds to the effect of little lines and bits and pieces, little tweaks going on in the distance. But we're going to highlight and cover some of this up anyway, so you don't need to panic too much about what's going on. That's the main thing. Okay. Now, we're going to put a little water line in there now, just to break this up. Now when you do a water line, you need to hold the knife level, nice and flat. So that line there is nice and flat. You can wiggle it back to forwards, but keep it flat. You may come down here, but I may come up a bit higher, but I'll wiggle it around. But all the time I'm keeping this as flat as I can. Okay, so I'm going to go into some titanium white. Pull some titanium white out there, and I'm going to press it flat, just flat. I'll wipe my knife so you can see hopefully what's going on. Just wipe my knife. So I'll clean my knife. So my knife is completely flat. Now I'll come down to the canvas, pull it towards me to get a little roll on there. Hopefully you can see there's a little roll on there. And then with that little roll, the roll of paint goes underneath. So I'm literally just going to go up to here and just cut in a water line. Something like that. Just a nice little water line along there. Okay. Then I wipe my knife, go back in. A little roll on there. Right here. Bring it down here. Okay. So basically, I've not done a one long straight line. I've curved it slightly here, around there. Okay, and I'm going to put in some foliage and some bushes at the bottom of these as well. Main thing is I didn't want to have it straight, I have it sort of curved, because he's fishing here and he's throwing his line and it's going to be in there. So that's the idea. So now we know that where his rod's placed, or will be placed. I'm going to do a little ripple in the water. So he's coming in, this is his rod, the line's going to be in there. So I'm saying that there's going to be a ripple around there where he's got his float and his water's going to be in there. So what we're going to do is using just the little tiny part of the knife, the small part of the knife, the same thing again, just a small amount of paint on there. I'm going to do like a circle, but holding this level. So say that the line's going to be along there, so I'm basically going to do a little circle like this, keeping this straight, like so. There's a little ripple of water there. Okay, I'm going to wipe this again, and I'm keeping this straight. If it's too big, I'll just cut it as if I'm cutting the canvas, like so. Cutting the canvas, just a few lines around it, like so, as if this is the splash. I'm going to do another little splash in there in a moment. So I'm going to get point of my knife, a little bit of alizarin crimson, just a very small, little tiniest piece, and in the middle of this circle I'm just going to touch, do a little dot, then I'm going to wipe that, I'm going to get some white, pure white, a little dot, and I'm going to put a little dot on the top, very carefully. Hopefully you can see that. A little dot on the top of that, which is this little flow. And then I'm going to get a little bit of black, just a little touch. I'm going to put that on top of that. Just a little dot on there. So hopefully it looks like his float bobbing up and down. Hopefully you can see that. Nice, I like that. It's coming on nicely. Okay, so I think now we're going to get to a fun part. We'll start filling in our fisherman.